On today's episode of Studio Dave, we're going tomb raiding. See? Snakes. Why's it gotta be snakes? Hey folks, Dave here. Today I'm going to make a diorama based on this figure that I found on my favorite 3D miniature website, Loot Studios, hashtag not a sponsor. And this guy just screamed Tomb Raider. So I thought it looked perfect in some sort of tomb setting, maybe some sort of ancient Egyptian tomb or a Mayan ruin, or think the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark, that sort of thing. So I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to stick them, but I know the first thing I have to do is 3D print them and paint them up. So let's check that out. So this figure is coming together pretty nicely. So now I've got to figure out what sort of situation to put him in. And I was looking for all sorts of reference materials for Egyptian tombs and Mayan tombs, and just figuring out exactly where I want to put this guy. Then suddenly the latest Star Wars show, Ahsoka, dropped. In the very first episode, Ahsoka raids this old Jedi temple type place. And there was one scene where she finally cuts her way through and lands into the ancient temple area that captured my attention, and I thought, I want to recreate this. That's the perfect thing for this figure. But the problem I had was that the base that came with the figures did not look like stone, so I wasn't going to use it. But then I realized if I had made this into a stone plinth type thing for the figure to sit on, it would be perfect for the scene that I'm trying to create. So I sanded off all the parts of the base that I didn't like and added some spackle to it to build up a rocky surface that I textured with some tinfoil and some other carving implements, and then gave it a good paint up. And I had the perfect plinth to put this figure on, so all I needed to do was build the rest of the diorama. So let's jump into that montage now. So here you go. Here's my diorama. It looks pretty good. I cut out these snake figures to put on the wall as some sort of like ancient symbolism. And I built up the texture along where this plinth sits just to kind of hide the seams. You can see the seam. There's a seam in the bottom because it's not perfectly square to the ground. So if I put this dirt here, it kind of makes it look like it's more one cohesive piece. It's a little trick to make the photoshopping easier later on. So now all I got to do left is to shoot this thing. The way I'm going to light this is I'm going to have a light that goes right above the figure and have a really bright spotlight go down. And that is going to allow me to simulate like a hole in the ceiling that the figure came through to do this tomb raiding. And it'll be nice and bright. So the sun shining down on the figure. Then I'm going to selectively light parts of the figure of all the bits that I want highlighted in the final photo. And then later on in Photoshop, I'll merge it all together and then come up with the final image. So let's go take a look at that now. So there you go, project completed. And I think it turned out really well. To be honest there, for a little bit, I had some doubts that this diorama was gonna come out the way I expected it to. But with the little bit of Photoshop magic and the extra little bit of details I stuck in the diorama, I think it turned out pretty well. So I'm gonna call this one a success. So thank you for following along. If you like what you see here, please hit that subscribe button and I'll see you next time. Cheers.